Hello, how's it going? Hope you're good. I hope you're as good as you can be. I hope for anyone celebrating Christmas, I hope you had a good Christmas. For anyone celebrating or observing, Hanukkah, I hope you're having a nice time with that as well. And this is it. This is the last episode of the year 2024. Very challenging year, personally. Um, I think actually, as a whole world, it's been pretty challenging, but I can't speak on the behalf of the planet Earth. So I'll just tell you from my perspective. It's been tough. It's been a tough year. Um, it's been also good. It's been again, it's been good and bad, I guess, same as pretty much anything. Depends on the perspective, that you have when you look at things. I feel like some things went really well, some things did not. My my back doesn't hurt as much, although if you've listened to the episodes in the past, you know that in the last couple of weeks I've started seeing a physiotherapist in person, and I'm getting some help with my back problem. We found out why I've got the problems that I have. It's something to do with like my middle back, stress related stuff, which kind of makes sense. And yeah, it hurt a lot more recently, but the thing is that in the past week I've actually managed to be active, and I did some like home chores between Christmas and now when I record this. I've managed to move a little bit more. I haven't been able to go on a run yet, so that's still on the list. But again, it's better. It's on the. I feel like I'm progressively better, which is nice. Um, Mentally or mindfully, I'm doing okay as well. I think I'm still obviously I'm still struggling with some issues on personal life, which I can't talk about at the moment, but I'm trying to deal with those, and I feel like I'm doing better and better. And I've got my therapist I'm seeing every week, and we discuss about a lot of things, and um, it's feeling like the last few months, no months, weeks, the last few weeks have been very refreshing, to in the respect that I managed to I feel like I've always, well, at least in the last couple of years, I've been as honest as I can, with my therapist, and I feel like recently we've managed to maintain that level of openness and honesty, and it's helped out a lot because again, at times I struggled, even with wanting to give someone preview of what's going on in my head, and then I realized that at the moment I'm good, and I feel comfortable doing that. I feel comfortable sharing what needs to be shared. I feel comfortable, not oversharing, which is also at times a very um, usual, I guess, thing to do for people like myself. I mean, the people with BPD. Um, so yeah, I'm happy with the way I manage that. Um, Comedy wise, I'm doing it at a lower pace, but it's been amazing. Every time I manage to go out and do a show, it's been really good. And again, because of all the stress and the the troubles that I've been put through, um, recently I found comedy to be such a good outlet, and for me to be able to even make myself want to get out of the house and walk to the station and then jump on a train and then I'd sometimes jump off the train, like I stop earlier on the way to a gig, and then I just walk the rest of the way so that I can clear my mind before I get to the venue. And meditation wise, I haven't done it as much as in the way that I wanted to do it, in the way that I was telling you about a couple of weeks ago. But I'm not beating myself over it because I feel like I managed to handle my thoughts much better in the last few weeks. I still do a lot of breathing exercises, which I feel like it's kind of necessary because of the whole weather in the UK for the last few weeks, or like for the, I guess, the winter season. Um, I run out of breath so quickly, and I struggle with my breathing, so that I actually have to take some time, sometimes, to just do breathing exercises to make sure that I get better, or like I feel better. But look, I feel like you've had enough. You've heard enough from me. Sorry, for this year, and I am so grateful. I think that's a good word. Yeah, so grateful to be able to share this episode with you as the last episode of 2024. Is not necessarily happened, or like it wasn't planned to be like this, but it's kind of happened. It's happened to be for this to be the last episode of the year. And I am just so I feel very privileged to have had Shye as a guest. Shye has been lovely to talk to, in the trying to work around the fact that we live in different countries when trying to record this. And obviously he's had a very very busy time, and he talks about it during our conversation about how he's been, he's been flying a lot. He's been in loads of places because he has a very important story to share. And yeah, feel incredibly privileged and honored to have had him take the time to talk to me. And I hope everyone listening enjoys this as much as I enjoyed recording and listening, and yeah, putting it together. It's it left me speechless quite a few times when we were actually speaking, and now as well on when I'm trying to on the build up for it. But it doesn't need a build up because it's good. It's great enough as it is, and I hope you enjoy it. And yeah, that's it. And you're gonna hear from me before we wrap it up. Well, like before, you'll hear from me after. Sorry, to say goodbye. But yeah, enjoy the conversation. Um, and yeah, I'll catch you at the end. Okay, so hey, Shye, how's it going?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
I'm very good. What's it like being back to Israel? I know you've traveled last week or something like that.
I got back to Israel on the... Whoa. When did I get back? I don't remember. I think I got back like on the 5th. I landed on the 5th. So I've been back around 10 days. Just a little over 10 days.
And just out of like curiosity, as well as when were you born in Canada or Israel?
Canada. My family is Israeli.
Okay, fine. So and have you moved for good to Israel, or you're just like visiting, or like you're going from time to time?
I live here. As of now, I live here.
Nice. So you were saying, which part of Canada did you grow up in?
I lost you.
Oh, okay. I was asking which part, whereabouts in Canada did you grow up in, or where were you based in Canada?
I grew up in Toronto.
What was it like?
It was nice. I liked Toronto. It was a little boring, but that's just because I've spent so much time there.
And is it where did you study in Toronto as well?
No, I have not gone to university yet.
No way. If you mind me asking, how old are you?
I'm 27.
Oh, bless you. Me too. Very nice.
Yeah, I just haven't decided to go to university yet. I just didn't know what I want to study until recently.
Oh, and what did you think about? Have you signed up for anything just yet, or because you said until recently? So what?
I don't think I can commit to anything right now, but maybe in the near future.
Which is fair enough. I think I started a mechanical engineering degree just this year. So, yeah, it was kind of, I don't know. I mean, I have somehow an understanding that because of the all the economic situation in the UK, it's been quite difficult on the job market. So I kind of thought, okay, I'll figure something out. But I know you're how did you get into photography?
My mom is a artist and graphic designer, and I just picked up a camera, and it's what stuck. I can't really draw, so taking photos is a good compromise for me.
So what did you start taking photos on? Like, what was your first, or like, I guess, what was your first camera? And then what is it that you're most passionate about?
It was a Konica Autoreflex TC from 1964 on the used market.
And do you still shoot with it now?
Yeah. Well, it's in Canada right now just because I couldn't bring it back with me. My bag was too full, but yes.
No way. That's amazing. And are both your parents creative people, or is it just your mom?
No, just my mom.
What was it like then to grow up, I guess, in Canada? Although I've met a couple of Canadian Jewish people before, but yeah, what was it like for you?
There's a very large Jewish community in Canada. I did not really grow up around them at all. I knew very few Jews growing up, maybe a handful less. Didn't really start meeting other Jews who were not relatives until I was around 17, 18, 19, around there.
And how did that happen? Was that the first time you went to Israel, or was it, bless you?
Thank you. Can you repeat that again? Sorry, I sneezed the night.
Yeah, so of course. No, it's okay. I was going to ask, what was it like? What changed at 17, 18? Is it because you went to Israel the first time, or were you just like, I don't know?
No, I just started leaving home more.
Fair enough. Nice. And but still in Toronto, we're talking still about the same city.
No, at the age of 13, my family moved about an hour north into the countryside.
No way. Nice. And what was that like then, moving from, I guess, a big city to a smaller one?
It's gonna be boring. It sucks.
Fair. I think it's quite. Go on. Sorry. Yes. Sorry. I was going to say, please continue.
I wasn't talking.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No. I get it. I think at my end, it was quite different because I grew up in a small village or like a small city in the north of Romania, and then coming to a big city in Have you ever been in the UK?
No, I've never been to Europe.
No way. Have you got it maybe on your bucket list or anything like that?
I would love to. I would love to visit Europe. It's just from Canada at the time, it's expensive to travel overseas.
Yes, no, of course. And then you, because you were saying now you're living in Israel.
Yes. So now it's much cheaper to visit anywhere else.
Yes, correct. And then, but I was also wondering, I guess, yeah, the question is, and I'm sure we'll talk even more about this, but then is it because of what happened last year, like on that you've moved now to Israel, or is it something else that's happened in between?
Wait, I'm not sure I understand your question.
Like, what was your reason basically or like what? Yes, I was just very curious to find out a bit more about like what made you move to Israel now.
My family lives here, like not my mom or my brother, but my other relatives, my grandparents, cousins, aunts, uncles, etc.
And I was also very curious about what it's like to live with the sirens and with all the, because I think sometimes we were talking on like social media and you sent me a picture of like an alert with the about the rockets like coming toward Israel. Yeah, what it's like, what's it like to live like that? What's it like what's like a day, I guess, in your life in Israel?
It's pretty boring, honestly. I'm just trying to figure myself out, and like what I'm doing here. I'm trying to work. I'm trying to make money. I'm trying to just have a healthy routine and not be spending all the money I have saved. I don't speak Hebrew, so finding work is a challenge.
Okay, I mean, yeah, I kind of It does make sense. It sounds difficult. And which city are you? Is it Tel Aviv?
Yes, I'm based in Tel Aviv.
Nice. And then I was going to now, I guess, ask you about what was your experience like last year in October? If you want to,
I'm at the Nova. I mean, it was insane. If I wasn't there, I wouldn't believe it.
and how you want to go take us even like through how did you get into, I don't know, even going to Nova in the first place? Are you like a big music fan, or was it just something that you've decided with your friends?
I think like everyone else, I really enjoy music, but I've never been to a music festival before, or a rave, or a techno, or anything like that. Nova was my first anything like that. So
Right,
my cousin,
and then
yeah. So my cousin Mordecai, I was staying at his apartment, and a mutual friend of ours came by and invited us to a party, and it was the Nova.
that was it. Wow. Okay, and then you're there, having a good time.
Yeah, it was a blast. Seriously, it was like some of the most fun I've had in a long time. Up until everything went south.
Were you like meant to like camp there, or like what was the? Because obviously I've watched. Sorry, go on.
It was an overnight festival. It was from midnight on the 6th until 4 in the afternoon on the 7th. I mean, like technically midnight on the 7th. Like the night of the 7th, it started. Supposed to go until 4:30 in the afternoon the next day.
Right. Okay. Yeah. What about in the? Because I've seen again loads of like videos, and I've seen pictures. Where about on the, I guess, the map of the festival were you at the time when everything escalated, and where did you manage to, I guess, find shelter? Or, yeah, tell me more a bit, tell me more about your personal story. As again, everything that I've seen looks still insane to this day, and it's hard to get like my head around. So, yeah.
Yeah. So we were in the parking lot when Hamas shut up, and we just climbed in the car and we drove out of the festival like a bat out of hell. And from there, we did not take the main road because it was blocked. And so we drove through fields for about 45 minutes. Sorry about the dog.
No,
for about
that's
45
okay.
minutes. And then, the further away we got, we kept seeing more signs of danger. And driving past a couple cities, Nativot, Sderot, we got home to Tel Aviv around 9:47 in the morning.
Wow. And then what was it like to? I mean, I imagine you're still dissecting everything as a year and over a year and a month later. But what was it like then that day when you finally got to Tel Aviv? I imagine there was a lot of adrenaline throughout that journey.
It was a lot of adrenaline, and it was a lot of uncertainty because we didn't know what was going on with our friends.
Oh my God! So it wasn't even everyone that you.
No, we were 8 people, and 3 of us couldn't fit in the car. They were in another vehicle, and they also survived. We learned they had hid in a bush for about 6.5, 7 hours, roughly.
Oh my God! And were you in Israel for a long time before the Nova festival happened, or was it? Did you land closer to the?
I made Aliyah January 15th.
January 2015. Okay.
No.
So then, sorry. 15th of January. What?
That year.
9 months.
No. 4 months.
Wait, I'm so confused.
Sorry, June. June,
okay, yeah,
I got
fine, got it.
my months confused. My apologies, it's on me.
No, that's okay. Yeah. Okay, wow. So you're in June. And then was it like any, I don't know, I want to say warning signs? What is like any rumors or anything like that?
No,
that something like this
nothing.
might happen?
There was nothing. It was an authorized party. It wasn't illegal. It was there with permission. So if we have permission to be there, we're under the assumption it's going to be safe.
Yeah, no, of course. This is what I was just more curious of whether, it's like, I don't know, you'd hear something that, oh, God forbid, something bad might happen, or there are safety issues.
I didn't even know we were near Gaza in the first place.
No way. Wow. And was that the first edition of the Nova Festival?
No, it was like the 4th or the 5th, something like that.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah,
And then
it wasn't the new thing.
now you're again you're back in you're in Tel Aviv. You find out that how long ago, how long after you've arrived in Tel Aviv with your with the car that you were in, did you find out any details, one about your friends and then about everything that's actually unfolded, or much more about what's actually happened at the festival?
So we didn't hear anything about our friends for about 6.5, 7 hours, like I told you. Then
Yeah.
we found out through a phone call they were okay, thank God. And then we just spent the rest of the day on our phones reading the news nonstop.
What? When did you manage to make contact with your family, with your parents, I guess, in Canada?
I texted them right away that we were okay. Like before I knew we were okay, I texted them just so they wouldn't worry in case they were reading the news or knew what was going on.
Because then, what's the time difference? If it's
7 hours. They're
7 hours
behind.
Yeah, so they must have. It was like middle of the. No, it was early evening, I guess.
It was the middle of the night.
Yeah.
The attack was around 6:30. It started. Hamas showed up around 8. So it was 1 a.m. for them.
Yeah, so they must have woken up, and if that's the first thing you see on the news, it's just terrifying. But then, yeah, what's it been like for you since then? How do you, I guess, cope with everything that's happened to you? What is it? Yeah, what is it that you do, or you manage to do?
Yeah, lots of therapy. Different kinds, whatever I can find. And just being around people I care about.
And if you want me asking, do you do just like speaking therapy, or is it like a particular type of therapy that you've been referred to? Or is it something that you've been, again, referred to because you've seek like medical support? Or is it just something that you have to do your own research and figure out where you want to go or what you want to do?
Well, I'm not sure I understand the question.
It was more about the fact that, okay, so, October, so the attack on October 7 happened. Now, as moving on from that, have you been able to get any support, as in, have like some medical care? When someone was, okay, I would advise you to do this type of therapy, say talking therapy, CBT, DPD, whatever it would be? Or was it that you did your own research and you found therapists that you thought, oh, okay, this person looks like, their CV looks like it's,
No. Everybody's fucked up and went into therapy in one way or another. It's not like, we're picking and choosing, what therapy we want, right? We all have PTSD from seeing people get murdered and all sorts of things. So, you don't really have a choice. You don't have a choice. Either you go into therapy and you try and get better, or you don't and you get worse and you just see how it goes. And, that's not a good way of going about it.
Of course, no. I think it's a terrible way. I remember about a month ago reading about, and I'm really sorry for forgetting her name, but another survivor of the
Shye
October
Klein.
7. Yeah, we were reading about like Shye Klein's story and about her ended up dying as a result of it. It was very painful, especially of someone who's diagnosed with a mental illness. I can imagine I can only imagine to a certain extent the pain that she must have gone through. So
yeah, it's very hard for people to cope with that sort of thing, and not everybody is, and it's hard for people to go to therapy. Who wants to sit for an hour a week and talk about how their friends are all dead?
But then, was it like, I guess, in any way, any sort of like support lines or anything like this set up for you folks, or for anyone who's been a victim of what's happened, around that time, to, I guess, seek support from? Or were you able to get any sort of, I guess, support? Once again, this is like a word I use a lot during this conversation, but I think it needs to be asked. Do you have any ways of, again, any helplines or anything like that, or any sort of either like meetings for per chance? Or
every week there's like a community day, and there's always something going on hosted by the Tribe of Nova Foundation for the community and survivors in different capacities.
And were you able to attend? Because I know you've been traveling loads recently as well, speaking about October 7th and speaking about your journey in particular, but were you able to also attend any of these meetings?
I don't, just because most of them in Hebrew, and I don't speak Hebrew.
God. And now even with the so even with the therapy, are you able to? I mean, are you seeing someone from Israel or is it someone from
My
Canada
therapist
or
is Israeli.
Israeli? But then I
I
imagine
can't see a
obviously.
therapist from Canada. They don't understand. They don't understand. Even the best trained therapist in Canada, they don't have a frame of reference for what it's like to be shot at by rockets or Kalashnikov. How are they gonna help with something they've never had to deal with before?
Wow, that's a very good point. And you've managed to see the same therapist ever since, or did you have to change around until you found someone you were able to bond with, I guess, or to actually open up with too much easier?
I've had to bounce around between a few therapists.
And on top of the therapy, I guess, what do you imagine? Does it like this like take a toll on you in regards to your sleeping, I imagine, or
Yeah, no, my sleep is not the best. Sometimes it's better
and
some days it's better than more. Other days it's worse. It really depends on just what's going on in my life or in Israel.
wow, yeah, that's it sounds heavy, And were you able? Do you have any? I don't know. Were you given any sort of medication to help you with
Yeah, I'm on
it?
Serenata, which is like a antidepressant, anti-anxiety medication, and I'm on that every day.
And were you able to have it even when you or when you left Israel, like recently, to go to the
No, I
States?
bring it with me.
Right. Okay. Wait. It's been prescribed from Israel, or like from your
Yeah.
Israeli doctors. Right.
Yes,
I
correct.
see. And, I guess, what was it like then to, like again, this unfolds and then you decide, or you want to talk about it. I imagine it's not easy for everyone to do it. So what made you feel like you should, what made you overcome or not overcome, because it's not even overcoming properly, but just what made you feel like you're, comfortable enough to start sharing your story and to be, I guess, more public about it?
I figured, because I speak English, why not? There's not many people who speak English natively who are there. There are quite a few. It's not like I'm the only one. I'm definitely not the only one. There's a significant group of people who are there who are doing what I'm doing. I'm not, I'm not unique in this. But, I started doing it in the very beginning, like October 10th, because I figured, if it's something I'm
Wow.
able to do and have a positive impact and help people out, why not?
And throughout this time, did your approach changed much since like October 10th to now in regards to what you're comfortable talking about or what you're comfortable doing and not doing, and even like how you manage your personal life? I mean, obviously this is your personal life to an extent, but like how do you manage everything?
With difficulty. It's very hard. It's very difficult.
And is there any other, I guess, a part of any, because you were talking about the amount of people who are, say, like first language English who were at the Nova Festival, it's much lesser. Are you a part of a group with anything as such, or were you able to connect with any of these people, or is it quite difficult?
I'm friends with quite a few survivors. A lot of the time it's just hard for me to sort of participate in things because of the language barrier. Like it's on me. I have to learn Hebrew. It's not like I have a choice, and I am going to, and I want to. But it's a really hard language coming from English.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you, as someone who's trying to pick up, Hebrew, how do you do it now? How do you try and learn it now?
Right now I'm not, just because it's just hard for me to have my head in that space.
I've been, because I've been looking around at things. I find it very hard to not get upset when I answer every single question wrong, and to keep pursuing it. So that's where my curiosity came from. In that respect, have you got any other trips planned to Canada or America? Because sorry, by the way, before you answer that question, my first question was, what was it like going around America and Canada to share your story?
It was incredible. It was a really positive experience, I feel.
And how long have you done it for? Like, how long was your
Total
trip?
or consecutively?
Whichever works for you.
I've been traveling for a total of 221 days, obviously not all in a row, with breaks here and there and, return trips to Israel.
And
I have been traveling for 221 days, and I've lived in Israel for 171 days.
wow, so you've pretty much been mostly on the road. And obviously, when you were going around, were you able to pick up a camera with you? Were you able to?
I bring a camera everywhere I go.
No way.
Of course.
So
why wouldn't I? If I'm traveling to, all these incredibly gorgeous states, why wouldn't I bring my camera, right?
Yeah, no, of course. But then I was just curious. So, what's your camera of choice then? What is it that you have in your bag all the time?
I have my film camera and my Nikon.
You shoot on film as well?
Yeah, well, the photos from the Nova are shot on film.
My God. Okay, I thought actually they were digital.
No, that's all shot on film. 35 millimeter.
Wow.
It's a Konica Autoreflex TC from 1964 that I used.
And you carry it with you anywhere you go?
Yes. Well, I mean, not now because I had to leave it back home in Canada. Simply because I didn't have the space in my luggage and I didn't want to put it under the plane. But yes, I carry it with me wherever I go.
Oh my God.
I actually recently sold a bunch of my old camera gear that I don't need anymore. And I purchased for myself a used secondhand Hasselblad film camera. If you're familiar with the brand.
Slightly. I know they are very good. I would lie if I told you I don't think I've ever seen one in real life or have I ever used one, but I heard about the quality. So that's amazing, man. And are you planning to then use both of them for shots or are you planning to just like do a swap over?
Can you repeat that last part?
Yeah, sorry. The question was, are you planning to then travel with both or like to keep shooting on both?
I can't travel with both. It's too much weight. So it's just physically, it's just too hard.
Yeah, no, of course.
No, but I do bring a couple of cameras with me wherever I go.
And have you got any? I guess even when you were in America, were you able to showcase the photos at any exhibitions or anything like that while you were there?
No, I wish.
What about? Have you considered doing like putting an exhibition together in Israel, or is it something that you'd consider?
Sorry, I accidentally tripped my shoes. I would love to. I would love to. I really would. I don't even know where to start or how I would do that. I don't have the connections for that sort of thing, unfortunately.
That's a shame because your work
and
sorry, go on.
And also, my apologies. And also to do that, I should have already done it by now, but I need to also get permission from all the people I photographed to use their photos in this sort of format, because they're all alive, which is a great thing. It's amazing. But I can't do it without their permission because it's a commercial use.
Yes, that's a very good point.
Like, I have no problem with that. I just haven't gotten around to doing it. And most people, not most, but quite a few of them I have gotten permission from just because I'm very close with them and I consider them good friends. Others, I just haven't approached and asked yet.
And I imagine that the process of, grieving and I guess getting back to a state of normality after October 7th is not that quick as well. So it makes sense for you to have to take the time to first figure out like what's going on, what's happening, what's next, then pursue something. But I think it would be wonderful to see it all together. Yeah, would be, especially I think with your experiences now, because even like the traveling. So sorry, yeah, actually coming back to you traveling around America and Canada to share your story. You were saying that it's been good. Have you got any highlights by any perchance?
For me, the highlight of my travels is the food. Being able to travel to so many different U.S. states and try the food that is unique to each state it's really awesome.
No way.
It really is. It's like I'm a very big foodie, and so being able to visit the state of Maine, which is on the East Coast, right on the ocean, and having fresh caught shrimp and lobster, or visiting the state of Georgia and having barbecue, or Texas, just that sort of stuff has been really amazing.
That's amazing. And well, also, then on the back of that, what was it like then when you? Well, I imagine because you said you have family in Israel. But what was it then like growing up, obviously, in Canada and then moving or eating more, like, Israeli cuisine? Was that...
I love it. It's great. I think the food here is amazing.
Nice. What's your I guess yeah. What's any places or any because when you are or like now living in Israel, do you live in Tel Aviv or is it that you're in Tel Aviv now for the time being or something like that?
I'm living in Tel Aviv just because as a photographer and as just a young person, I feel like Tel Aviv is a place to be for me right now.
Interesting. And then obviously you have you traveled around Israel a bit as well?
Not as much as I'd like.
What do you drive as well or is it?
No, I don't have a car, unfortunately.
Oh God,
I have
no.
a license. I don't have a car, though. I want one. I have to convert my Canadian license to an Israeli one.
Fair.
Yeah, in Canada, we get our license at 16.
No way. That's cool. And what was I going to ask? So you were traveling around America. You were talking about being able to taste the amazing foods around America, and then you're back now. Have you got any other trips planned for the beginning of 2025 or anything like this, or is not clear yet?
I would like to give some lectures in Europe because from what I see and from what I know personally, most Nova survivors and people who survived October 7th are traveling around the U.S. And there are more places in the world besides the U.S.
Well, I would like to back that because it's so true, and I think that especially with everything that's happened, and for context, for everyone listening, we're recording this on the 12th of November. So it's been a very challenging week for Jews around the world, especially Europe. And yeah, I was going to say that if that would be the case, it would be actually amazing to have you or to have people like yourselves, traveling around here because it looks like it's necessary by the looks of it.
I would love to visit the UK or the Netherlands, one of these places where these issues are arising, and speak to the people there about what happened and what's going on and sort of, help give people strength because I think that's something we could all use right now.
Yes, absolutely. And, what's it like then now because you're talking about delivering those lectures, how did you, I guess, come out, like when did you decide that this is something that you want to do or something that you want to pursue? Because you were saying on 10th of October, you started, talking about it or opening up. But then when did you actually decided, okay, it's time for me to start and educate people on these issues?
As we were running for our lives, I'm taking photos, I'm taking videos. My cousin is telling me, don't stop taking photos, don't stop taking videos. Like no matter what, keep taking photos, keep taking videos, because both of us knew how important it would be to show people what happened to us, to show people what we experienced and what we just lived through. Like we both knew the significance of the event, and I think both of us knew, like, if we didn't die, if nothing happened to us, we would have to.
God. Now, oh my God, I forgot I lost my train of thought.
Oh, my apologies.
No, it's okay. It's just because I was I'm very caught in this. What I was going to ask is that, okay, so you're any of the footage that you've taken so far, has it been, so for anyone listening to this who's also watched any of the documentaries that came out since, has any of your footage been used in anything that's been released? Like
in a few of the documentaries, there's footage of mine. Most Nova survivors get approached about the usage of their footage in these productions and documentaries. Like them and myself, I allow it to be used because it's very important for people to see what we experienced and what happened to us.
Of course. Okay. But then that's what I was curious to see whether anyone, even without knowing that he was taken by you, whether they would have seen your work. And it sounds like, yes, probably.
Yes. Not knowing it, but yes.
And then when you're, when you've managed to, again, like, yeah, or is that how you started, by like putting a presentation together? What was your approach towards?
Initially, it was just talking, right? And then after a period of time, I realized, why am I only talking, right? Why am I only speaking to people about what happened when I can show them? I have taken about 100 or somewhere between like 70 and 90, maybe 100 photos at the Nova. And I have about an hour of video footage in total. And so I figured, why not show people, Nothing will give them a better frame of reference for what we experienced than literally seeing what happened to us.
That's very fair. And yeah, that was actually a huge curiosity, because I was, like, how did you decide to combine the two? And now it sounds like you've done it. And is it something that you're constantly, I don't know, you're like constantly looking to improve, or is it like you've got
Yes,
like a set format and that's it?
100%. I'm constantly looking to improve it and change it, because I don't want to just be saying the same thing over and 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 over again, repeating myself and, just getting into a routine that might not be conducive to properly conveying what I want to convey to people. Right?
Yeah.
So I'm always looking to change it, how it looks visually, what photos and videos I include in this presentation. When I give my presentation, I'm not just saying, this is what happened to us and this is where I am now. I'm taking people through that day, through that 24-hour period in order of time, chronologically, through my photos and through my videos.
Wow.
So when people are in the audience, it's as if they're there. I'm not trying to, but it's a very anxiety-inducing presentation. It's very nerve-wracking. It's very stressful.
And then, well, now what's it like for you, or like what was it like for you when you started doing it? Like did it take a heavy emotional toll on you, or were you quite not okay with it, but did you need some time to recover from that, or would you say you'd be able to do these presentations, or you got to the point where you can do it over and over again?
I've just sort of become numb to it, honestly.
What about when you see other people's reaction to what you're doing? What does that feel like to you?
It's really heartwarming, because many people are very sympathetic towards us and very compassionate, and offer their condolences and offer their help in whatever way. And everybody I've met through the last 9 months, have been just excellent to me and all the other Nova survivors who are doing this, treating us very well. It's the outlying experiences that might not be the best, but I feel like those are few and far in between.
Yeah. And then, you were talking. So when you're also doing the presentation, is it that you're talking precisely? But I think you actually answered that question, but I'm just going to ask you,
it's okay.
Double check anyway. So when you're making the presentation, even now, it's purely from your view, like this is like
yes,
your journey.
I'm talking about my own personal experience, and I'm talking about the people I met, who they are, where they're from, what happened to them, but I'm not really telling other people's stories. I give like tidbits and insight to what happened to some other people that I met, but I'm not saying, okay, this is this person and this is his story from start to finish,
Yeah. Which
it's
sounds
more
fair.
like, this is this person, this is how I met them, this is what we spoke about, I took their photo, I learned who they are, where they're from, and I said goodbye, and that was it, because their story is not mine to tell.
Which is a very fair point, and it sounds good, because I agree with that, with that sort of approach. Like you said, ultimately I'm here to tell what specifically happened to me, or like what is like my story, or even what it's been like for me to speak with a said individual. And so then basically do you still do that, where you like take your camera around and you take a picture of like people at events and things like this, or was that
when I'm allowed?
No way. That's really cool. Have you been able to work on anything since October that you can share, or is it?
So right now I'm working on a project that, everybody's talking about the Nova in October 7th, which is really great, because it means more people are hearing about what happened to us and what we experienced. But something that I feel is important is to also talk about the people, right? The people who are still around, and what many of us still have to live with and deal with on a near daily basis, right? Working on a project where I want to photograph all Nova survivors who are still alive. I want to do portraits of, whether it's 1,000, 500, 2,000, 3,000, 20, 60, 90, whatever. It doesn't really matter to me. I want to do portraits of every single one of them. And I want to have those portraits in an exhibition that goes around the US, and I'll sort of use it as a way to talk about these things, talk about these issues that many people still have to deal with, these struggles.
And have you been able to and I guess that's without giving too much away, but have you been able to approach anyone to make this happen, or is it something that is it something that at the moment is only you working towards?
Wait, sorry, can you rephrase the question?
Yes, of course. So I meant to ask whether is this something that for you have spoken with other, I guess, agencies, people, publication, etc., to help you work towards, or is it something that for the time being is only you working?
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so right now it's just something that I'm working on alone. It's been hard for me to sort of ask people to help me and be involved in this, just because I want to do something very specific with it to support this community, this new community of mine. And, I don't want to, I want to use this project sort of to fundraise, to do something that will support Nova survivors long term. Not just retreats or spa days or anything like that. Like, I have no problem with those. Those are very great things that really help people out, truly. But, by itself, it's not enough. I want to do something that will help people long term. And so when I ask people if they want to help me with my project or participate or whatever, often I'm met with, oh, I'm happy to help you, but I want you to use it to fundraise for me instead, right? I don't want all the money going to some organization that already has millions of dollars. I want it to go to my community to help out these people that I care about.
That's a very good point. And it sounds like, and it's super important to stand up for what you believe in, and to stand up for what you see as a bigger picture. Because I agree. I feel like sometimes, unfortunately, that can be taken away very quickly. But I also very much hope that it will come to fruition, that this will happen and will go to plan.
I really appreciate it. I hope so too. It's something that I envision it as one of two things: either 4 walls covered top to bottom with portraits, or just a single wall with an overwhelming amount of portraits, like, almost like when you stand at the bottom of the Empire State Building and you look up and it just gives you this overwhelming feeling that's bigger than you. That's the sort of feeling I want to give with it.
Sounds amazing. It sounds very good. And it's hopefully, and when you think about it, and like when I try to like imagine what this would look like, it sounds like something that should definitely get the support to be to make it happen. I felt I got a little bit, it made me a little bit sad, hearing the bit about how, when sometimes you'd ask for support, it's like, yes, I will support, but only if you do this, or if you make us or look better or whatever. And that's often very disappointing and very sad, because like I said, it's so much bigger than that. It's important to showcase this journey. And like you said, I think, again, I can only imagine what it must have been like. But then for people to actually live as survivors is something totally different, and it's so much bigger than anything.
100%. I agree with you.
Well, look, Shye, I appreciate so much taking the time to chat with me. And now, before we go, I just wanted to ask you, where do people find you? Where do people find your work? And then if there's anything else you'd like for people to check out, let us know.
I really appreciate it. I didn't realize it was already an hour.
No, we're getting there, but that's why I just want to leave some time to spare.
Right. Yeah, people can see all of my photos and my videos from the Nova, and they can read my story about what happened to my friends and myself on my website, which is just my name. It's just shyeKlein.com. And they can also check it out on my Instagram, which is the same. It's at Shye Klein. Everything is on my website, my Instagram, my social media, my LinkedIn, whatever you can think of. It's all there.
Oh, no way. You got LinkedIn as well?
I mean, it's not very good. It's not very nice looking, but yes.
Wow. I'm truly, this is very like off topic, but I was speaking with someone yesterday about putting a comedy show together, and she said that we should promote it through LinkedIn. And it shocked me to hear that now, again, as someone who's been a comedian and not paid much attention to anything that's happening on LinkedIn for many years. I was just shocked to find out that now it's actually, it sounds like it might be the place to be. So that's why it just threw me back now when I heard that, about like your LinkedIn as well. That's why I was just very curious.
I get it. I get it. Yeah, no, I really need to take better care of my presence on LinkedIn because it's quite important.
I know, and I heard about that, and this is why I'm like, yeah, it sounds mind blowing, but hey, what can we do? Anyway, Shye, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you, and yeah, just thank you. Thank
Thank
you
you
for
for the
sharing.
opportunity. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me.
Oh, well, say goodbye now. Thank you very much.
All right, bye. Thank you.
I told you it's gonna be. I think it's incredibly powerful, moving, but good, and no, but and good, and yeah, again, feeling or felt, and how I felt at the time, and I am feeling now, very privileged and grateful to have had Shy take the time to speak to me. And I hope everyone listening. It's weird. I don't know how if I should say the word enjoyed, but yeah, I kind of I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I hope you enjoyed the conversation, and I also hope you check out his work. I'll put his social media as usual on the bio of the episode, on the summary of the episode, and I think I'll just leave you there. Yeah, it's it's been an all right year. You know, let's look forward, or let's I guess with the bar being set where it is, it's not that hard to believe that, or to hope that 2025 will be a better year. And yeah, let's just take that. Let's just see how we're gonna get going with that, and how long in 2025, how long is it gonna take, at least for me, in 2025, to complain about something. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna make it maybe 10 minutes past midnight, but it'd be nice if I wouldn't. Anyway, who knows what's gonna happen. uh I wanted to say something a bit more, smarter, and a nicer way to, or like, yeah, more clever way to wrap it up. But I want, because I don't know what to say. This is not scripted. I hope you noticed by now that I'm pretty much I'm just talking into a microphone with nothing in front of me but the screen of the screen of the Mac, with details about how loud things are, and how much time we've got. But yeah, thank you everyone for listening. Anyone who's been a part of the podcast this year, I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. Whether listeners, people who have been guests, uh, people who, I think, even people who didn't leave, 5-star reviews, I still appreciate you, because you took the time to share this, to be a part of this journey with me. And I didn't think the podcast would be going in the way that it is now. I was basically just looking for something to give me some meaning, and to make me feel like I am helping out people who are, going through what I'm going through, or almost what I'm going through. And yeah, I didn't know where this was going, and I still at times have no idea where it's going, and I don't know if I'll get there. But yeah, thank you all for being a part of this amazing journey. I'm very excited for well, not very. I'm kind of excited for 2025. Yeah, I guess I'm just like looking forward. I mean, I can't stop it. It's still gonna happen. But yeah, let's see whatever happens in 2025. I feel like I've been through enough to know that I can get through it. Well, I take it back before something horrible happens. But yeah, thank you all for listening, and for the last time this year, from me, Pickle and Sarma. Goodbye, and stay skillful. Until next week or next year. Bye.